Welcome to Grace by Rain, a podcast about the beauty in life. I'm your host, Elaine Shircliff. Welcome back, everyone. It is Monday morning, which means this is another episode of The Beauty of the Grand Rapids Griffins, where I talk about something that I found beautiful from the past week that the Griffins did. It could be what the fans did. It could be what the social media did. It could be what players did, quotes or plays. So I just really want to shed light on how beautiful the AHL is. There needs to be more love for the AHL, more people to buy into the AHL. I've always loved the AHL. It's such a good vibe. Lots of passion, lots of fun, lots of drama. But I want to share that with people, and I haven't done that as much before. And now that I'm back to covering one team, I'm making this a weekly thing. It's sustainable too. And we're about trying not to burn ourselves out on this podcast. Will season 10 in the AHL be the season that I don't burn out? I'll let you know in April. So this week was kind of a big week for Grand Rapids. They only had one game. They played Manitoba for the third time in a row. They played last weekend, Friday, Saturday, took almost a week off, and then played Manitoba this past Friday. And they beat them 3 times in a row. And that's actually really hard to do, okay? Because especially when you have that much time between the Saturday and the Friday game, a team can pre-scout a little bit better, right? They can, they have time, they've already played you, it's fresh in their brain, and they can adjust, which is what the Manitoba Moose did. They were a different team every single game because they adjusted. They were like, "Oop, don't like that. Oop, don't like that." And they changed it. They fixed it. A great example of that is they, game one against Manitoba 2 Fridays ago. Amadeus Lombardi could do these crazy passes across the ice, right? And part of the reason why he had 100% success rate on Friday was because the Moose could not keep their sticks down to save their life. And I don't mean waving them around, right? Some people wave them around all the time. They were lowered. They were lowered. They were almost on the ice, but they weren't on the ice. There was like just enough space underneath them where Ammo was able to get the puck like whoop, like just whoop, right underneath the stick, just barely underneath the stick, because they didn't have time to just push it to the ground because he was passing it with such strength, with such speed. And so they didn't have the chance to put their stick all the way down. Saturday's game and this past Friday's game, those sticks were down. They were flush with the ice. There could not be crazy cross ice passes like there had been that 2 Fridays before. So they adjusted. But didn't stop the Griffins from taking them down 3 games in a row. They had a shutout, won 4-0. Sebastian Cossa had his first shutout of the season, stopping 30 saves. Okay. Also, John Leonard, 2 goals and assist. And Nate Danielson, fresh off an injury, had 2 assists. He was looking better. He was looking good. We'll see how things go. It was one game. Adrenaline gets to you, and you kind of ball out sometimes. I am cautiously optimistic that he is good to go. And the thing is, don't get attached to him, because if he is really good to go, he's not staying down here. He's going up top. that was made pretty clear. It was made pretty clear by some of the things that Steve Yzerman said. So there's that. Also, this was the 5th game in a row that Grand Rapids scored first. Okay, every single game this season, they have scored first. And a little fun fact for you guys, okay? The Griffins have yet to trail this season. They have led for 182 minutes and 12 seconds and have been tied for 117 minutes and 48 seconds. Okay, that's crazy pants insane. It is so rare to see. Absolutely love that for them. Both John Leonard and Dominic Shine have back-to-back multi-point games. And John Leonard is riding a 4-game point streak, which, by the way, he has scored 5 goals and 2 assists. This man is on a tear. He is on a heater. He's on a heater. As you can see, there is a lot of beauty, a lot to love from this team right now. However, I really want to focus on some conversations I had with some coaches. Okay. I keep hearing from the coaches that they want the players to stay in the moment. Or when it comes to, coaching what's going on in front of them, staying in the moment and not looking too far ahead and not caring too much about the past. Okay. Dan Watson very much wants the team to enjoy the fact that they are part of this historical 30th anniversary season. It's important. And there's also just such great chemistry in the locker room, and they have something special. And he wants them to enjoy it. He wants them to embrace it, to stay in that moment and soak it in and enjoy everything that's happening. It doesn't matter if they win or they lose. He wants them to be present and get what they need to get out of the moment so that they can move forward into the future. I absolutely love that. I love that a lot. And then I was talking to Roope Koistinen, the goaltender coach. Great guy. We were talking about pre-scouting, right? As a goalie coach, pre-scouting goes a little bit more into the game than, say, if you're a head coach and assistant coach. Now, obviously, when you have the special teams, you have to kind of look back at what the other teams are doing so that you can see what's going on when you play them. But it's as long as you have like that solid core on your units, you're pretty fine to not be as aggressive about pre-scouting. However, when you are a goaltending coach, especially since typically in the AHL, you're using a tandem, right? One goalie one night, one goalie the next night, and teams do play differently in front of different goaltenders. Some will sit in the crease more. Some will do their plays further out. It all depends on the relationship and what each goalie brings to the table, right? And so Roope kind of talked about how he pre-scouts like 3 days ahead of the game. So he's already pre-scouting Rockford for this coming weekend set of games, right? You're a week out, he's already pre-scouting them. And, that can make you, like, when you have to pre-scout so much for your team to make sure that your goaltenders understand what they're going to face. Um, because there's going to be breakaways, there's going to be one-on-ones, there's going to be people rushing the crease, and you need to have your goaltender be prepared because the goaltender is the last line of defense to stopping a goal from happening. The first line of defense is the offense. I know, sounds silly, right? But if the offense maintains possession, they're not getting in the neutral zone. They're usually not getting in the defensive zone. First line of defense. Second line of defense, obviously the defense. Um, Third line of defense and final line, the goaltender, because he's right there in front of the net. He was right there. Okay. He's your last line of defense. And so when everything else falls apart, the goaltender has to be on it. So you have to pre-scout, right? And then you can get so inside your head with that, right? Goalies have to be strong mentally and smart as well, because that's a lot. That's a lot that they they have to think about during a game. It's a lot they have to prepare for. Every scenario, there's nobody backing him up, right? There's nobody, if he falls down on the job and the defense has already fallen down and the offense fell down on the job, there's no one there to back up the goaltender, okay? And Roope said that while it is good to look ahead like that, right? And it is good to see what is coming, it's also very important to stay in that moment, okay? To stay in the moment, to look at what you've done, build upon it, and just stay present, right? And as a coach, right? As a coach, the tendency can be to look into the future or hang on to the past, right? When you're winning, when you're 5-0, there is a tendency for a coach to look ahead and be like, this is what we're going to get. And we're going to get here. And this is how we're going to do it. And then they start game planning for the future. And when you're on a lose streak, they start obsessing over the past, right? It's a tendency to obsess and try to make things better, right? But when you look at the present and you live in that present, I think it allows you to kind of compartmentalize where things are going to go. You can take the moment and be like, we won and this is great and I love it. And then move forward. You give that emotion its space and you move forward. Oh, I had this turnover. The other team scored. I lost the shutout for Michael Postava. Deal with the emotion, be in the moment, and move forward. And you can build upon those things as you go because you're not obsessing over what has happened or what might happen in the future. You are embracing what's in front of you. You're giving it its space. And then you're moving forward into the next moment. I think that's why the vibes in the locker room are just perfect. They are absolutely perfect. Okay. Sometimes when you're on a win streak, a lot of the times, let's be honest, when you're on a win streak, the vibes are so high. Okay. You're like so high in the clouds. People are just screaming, celebrating all the time. And when the vibes are so high, the crash happens. It's like a sugar high, right? When you're just like, wow, or like when a dog gets zoomies, right? And they're running around and then they just like crash and go to sleep. the energy that this team has right now is sustainable. They're not too low, not too high. They're just right. And I think that's because they're constantly hearing to be in the moment, enjoy it while you have it, and embrace what's happening and then move forward. Absolutely beautiful. Something that I think we all should be incorporating into our personal daily lives, myself included. That's really a call out to myself to live more in the moment. The other thing that I thought was great as well, okay, I asked Roope, what has been your favorite memory since you've been here? This is his third season here. Obviously, there's memories, right? He said every day. Every day is a good memory for him. Like, he enjoys what he does. He loves this team. He loves coming to practice, being on the bus rides, the traveling. He enjoys all of it. So even if they're losing, he's able to find something that he enjoys and becomes his favorite memory. Every day is a favorite memory for him. Like, imagine how much better your quality of life would be if you looked at every day the way Roope looks at every day working in the AHL. If you could find at least one thing that you love about each day and look at every day housing a favorite memory for you. Just imagine how great life would start feeling, right? When you have that level of gratitude to your life, it it makes life so much more fun, right? When you look at every day as a gift instead of something you have to do or a burden or something that's one day in between something else you really want to do, right? When you start looking at every day as that true gift, gosh, that has to be just incredible, right? And that helps you stay in the moment too, right? When you realize that every day is your favorite day. Like, you can stay in the moment, you can enjoy it, then move on to the next day, and it's just as beautiful. Big, little things that people would consider a bad day, and you look at it and you see something and there's something good in it, and now it's a good day, it's a good memory. I'll be honest, I really needed to hear that. I've struggled hardcore with moving here. I love it here. I do not want to leave Grand Rapids. I wish my family was closer, but I do not want to move back. Let me make that clear. But that doesn't mean that I haven't struggled a lot. I've been here for a little over 6 months and I've struggled a lot. And part of that's because I was looking so much at the past or what I thought my future would be here. And I didn't look at every day as a gift. I didn't look at every day as like my favorite memory every day, you know? And I should, because quite frankly, before I moved here, I literally was going to have a heart attack or a stroke. Okay. My job before I came here was going to put me into an early grave. And I was living such a chaotic lifestyle. And now I have this beautiful life. I have things that I wanted and I dreamed of having, and I've ticked off all these goals already. And I haven't been enjoying it as much. Every day hasn't been my favorite memory. And I really needed to hear in that moment that I needed to enjoy the moment more. And that's one of the beautiful things to me about writing. To me, it is beautiful that we have these opportunities to talk with different people who have lived different lives than us, and we can learn from them. As journalists, we have this unique opportunity to be able to converse with people one-on-one who not everyone gets a chance to talk to and pick their brains about, and learn from them. And a lot of times they're just maybe talking to us about hockey, but you can apply that to your everyday life. And if you walk into that room open enough to what someone's saying and how it can apply to your life and how it can apply to others' lives, your writing and the way you see the game gets taken to the next level. So think about that next time you're having a conversation with someone and it hits you, and then you like, oh, whoa, that's good advice. And then you like shrug it off. Don't shrug it off. There's a reason why it hit you. Okay. There is a reason why it hit you. So take it to heart. Take it to heart. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your support of this section of the podcast. It is my favorite one that I do every week. Because I love talking about things that are beautiful. I love to make people smile, and I love to experience life. And now I'm going to start living a little bit more into the moment and recognizing that I'm part of something beautiful right now. And I get to tell the stories of this beautiful team in their 30th anniversary. So thank you, Coach Watson. And thank you, Roope, for reminding me of that through the things that you said to me in our interviews. All right, folks. You have a great week. I will see you back here next Monday. And remember, be kind and love always.
My theme music is One Light by Nick Wilkinson and the Featured Players. You can find their latest album, Live, Volume 1, on Bandcamp and Spotify. Live Volume 1 was recorded in front of a live audience on May 26, 2017 at Jilly's Music Room in Akron, Ohio.